ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to StuPot's homemade baking channel, where homemade food is always king. How are you all doing today? I hope you're well. I'm doing fine, thank you very much. And I hope you all are enjoying your shepherd's pies. And we are now going to be moving on to our second dish. So what are we going to be doing in this? Well, if you went to my channel and you saw my response / new dish video, you will obviously know what we're going to be making. Hopefully you've got everything ready and you're ready to see how to make this. But if you are just watching me for the first time or something like that, and you want to know, you want to know what we're making, we're going to be making a homemade apple pie. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be making one of these, ladies. This is a homemade brown apple pie. I made this actually yesterday. I was in the middle of actually filming it when my camera decided to give up on battery life, and obviously I couldn't use it. But I continued to cook it, and I'm going to use it for the video for this to show you that this is what we're going to be making. And yeah, it's very, very tasty. Now, what does an apple pie consist of? We're going to do an introduction for an apple pie, what apple pie is. So let's get down to it. So an apple pie is a traditional English dessert, loved by absolutely everyone. You can put anything into it. You can put you can add custard and cream and ice cream. I mean, it is a really tasty treat, not just for you adults out there, but also for your kids. You can get your kids involved in this as well. It's very easy to make. We're going to be making it from scratch. That's the pastry and the filling, and we're all going to be cooking it in our kitchen. And yeah, we're going to have a great time. So, going to go ahead and grab the ingredients, and we're going to go through them together. So if you bear with me for 1 second, I'm just going to get the ingredients, and we'll welcome back to the ingredients part, this part of the video. I'm going to try and keep this to 2-part video, but if it does go to 3 parts, then obviously it will need to. So, what ingredients do you need? Well, we're going to cover the pastry first, okay? So the first thing you're going to need is some plain flour, okay? Now, plain flour is what you need first of all, okay? I'll put all the ingredients in the description down below as well. I'll also put the measurements on screen and down below on the description, just so that you know how much to use and how much to not use. Okay, so that's the first thing we need. The next thing we need is, of course, our butter. Okay, I'm going with stork here because it's actually perfect for biscuits and pastry. It's pretty much perfect for everything, I think. Yeah, but any kind of margarine or butter, it has to be hard butter or hard margarine, okay? And it has to be good for cooking in. So anything that you can cook with is perfectly fine. The next thing you're going to need, of course, is your caster sugar. Now, this is just for flavouring, okay? So when your apple pie is pretty much finished, you sprinkle a little bit of that on the top, and it's perfectly fine. The next thing you'll need, of course, is a pinch of salt, okay? You've got a pinch of salt, and then that's more than a pinch of salt, I know that, but that's what you need. You also need 6 tablespoons of very cold water, okay? And the last ingredient you'll need is a little bit of ground sugar. You add that basically to the apple mix. And now for the filling, all you're going to need, of course, the most important thing for an apple pie is, of course, your apples. Now, I've gone for pink lady apples, as you can see. I've gone for pink lady apples. I find them very sweet, very good for apple pie, of course, because it means that you don't have to use so much sugar. You can use Granny Smith. I've heard Granny Smiths are very good for apple pies, and of course, you can use your own home baking, cooking apples like cranberry, like the one I got there. So that's basically the ingredients part. We're now going to move on, of course, to the preparation, and we're going to also move on to the cooking. Right now we're going to get on with preparation, and the first thing we're going to do is we are going to make our pastry for our apple pie. Now, The pastry needs to be done first, because while your apples are cooking, your pastry is basically going to sit in the fridge for a good 15 minutes. That basically makes it nice and firm, and it's not going to break apart or anything like that. And you want to keep the pastry cold. Your pastry needs to be cold to be able to roll out properly into your short crust pastry. So we're going to go ahead and do the measurements. Now I'm going to walk you through what measurements you need. I'm going to do the measurements off camera because it's a little bit easier and it's going to take a bit of time. But what I'm going to do, I will tell you what you need in measurements. So for the pastry, you need 255 grams, that's 9 ounces of plain flour. Okay. Then you need a pinch of salt. Then you need 140 grams, 5 ounces hard margarine or butter stock. Then you need 6 tablespoons of cold water. It has to be ice cold water, okay? And that's basically your pastry ingredients. Now, the first things first, okay? You need to make sure that you got tablespoon, okay? My first apple pie over there did come out pretty good, but unfortunately I added teaspoons, 6 teaspoons instead of 6 tablespoons, and my pastry kept falling apart. So you need to have a balance on that really, but you should have no problem. So I'm going to go ahead now and measure all this out, and then you're not going to miss anything. Everything that goes into the bowl, you'll see that, okay? So bear with me for 1 second while I get all the measurements done, and we'll be back shortly.